This video will teach you how to deal with the grammar lesson on conditionals. So, what are conditionals? Let us learn more about the term. Conditionals are sentences with a main clause and an if clause. Conditionals are statements that show requirement or condition for a situation. And conditionals are used to express possibilities for a certain situation. As what I've mentioned earlier, conditionals have two parts, namely the main clause or the independent clause, the one in the blue ink, and the if clause or the subordinating clause, the one in red ink. Basically, the conditional sentence can have its parts inverted. We can interchange the order of the clauses without changing its meaning. For an instance, the statement on your screen, "I would buy all the skins in Mobile Legends if I had 1 million diamonds," is the same thing with, "If I had 1 million diamonds, I would buy all skins in Mobile Legends." Using whatever order of the clauses, you would arrive with the same thought. So, you have main clause plus if clause or if clause plus main clause depending on your preference. There are 4 levels of conditionals. The level starts at 0 and goes up to level 3. So that's level 0, level 1, level 2, and level 3. Let's discuss them one by one. The first conditional is conditional 0, also known as present real conditional. It is at level 0 because there is no actual condition given at all. Normal happenings, habits, and facts have no condition. They just happen. For example, we rest when we are tired. Whether we like it or not, it has become your practice to take a break from a very tiring task, isn't it? Note in the simple sentence that the if clause used when instead of if. If clauses are sometimes when clauses, especially for level 0 conditional. Take note of the verbs in each clause. We use the present tense for conditional 0. The next level is conditional 1 or future real conditional. When we talk about the future, we predict what might happen. Level 1 conditional expresses possibilities of something to happen given a certain condition. For example, "I will buy you milk tea," future action, not yet done. And what's the condition? "If I get my allowance." Is this possible? Yes, it is. Hence, it is called a future real conditional. Note that the main clause uses the future tense of the verb, and the if clause is in the present tense. Speaking of the future tense, the verb has different forms that we can use. We have the will plus verb, the be plus going to plus verb, and of course, the shall plus verb. So, in level 1 conditional, we can say "I will buy," or "I am going to buy," or "I shall buy milk tea." If you are unsure, simply stick to will. It is the safest form. "I will buy." After dealing with real conditionals, we go to the ones that are unreal. Level 2 conditional is also known as the present unreal conditional. It is unreal because it is used to verbalize your
imagination.
To best remember level 2, think of SpongeBob's imagination. For example, "I would buy all the skins in Mobile Legends if I had 1 million diamonds." Is this situation possible? Is it real? No. Just like your crush liking you back, it is just your imagination. Kidding aside, for imaginary situations, we use level 2 written in the format main clause uses would plus base verb and if clause uses the past tense. Finally, the last conditional or conditional 3 is called the future unreal conditional. We use the third level of conditional if we talk about something impossible to happen. For example, I'd grant all your wishes if I were a genie. Am I a genie? I don't have magic. Obviously, I'm not. Therefore, this statement will never ever happen at all. It is impossible. Similar to level 2, the verbs of level 3 conditional follow the would plus base for the main clause and past tense for the if clause. Notice that the pronoun and the verb would are enjoined. That is because we use a contraction or the shortening of words by adding them together. So the word I'd is a combination of I plus would. I'd. Let's find out if you really understood the lesson. True or false? Question number 1. The present real conditional, also called conditional 0, is used to talk about what you normally do in real life situation. That is true. Question number 2. The present unreal conditional, also called conditional 1, describes what you think you will do in a specific situation in the future. The answer is false. Why is it wrong? Remember, as the level goes up, the more it becomes unreal. Question number 3. The future real conditional, also called conditional 2, is used to talk about what you would generally do in imaginary situation. The answer is false. What makes the statement wrong? Remember, when you say real conditional, it is not imaginary. Question number 4. The future unreal conditional is used to talk about imaginary situation in the future. That is true. Unreal means imaginary. And finally, question number 5. If is the most frequent expression in the if clauses, but other expressions are also possible. That is also true because we can use when. Great job! I think you have mastered the theories somehow. At this point, let us summarize the different verb forms for each level. Take a look at this matrix to know which verb form should be used for each level and for each clause. For level 0, we use the present in both main and if clause. For level 1, we use the future tense in the main clause and present tense in the if clause. For levels 2 and 3, the unreal ones, we use would plus verb in the main clause and past tense in the if clause. Let's do more exercises for your mastery. Let's match the main clauses and if clauses to create meaningful conditional sentences. The first pair would be if I were a millionaire. That would match probably letter B. If I were a millionaire, I would buy a beautiful car. Next, she wouldn't have had an accident if she had driven carefully. I'll watch the film if I finish early. If you heat ice, it melts. Will you meet me if you are free? Alright, so that is the last pair. Language application. Let's try applying our knowledge on conditionals in actual language use on a certain situation where it is very applicable. Let's follow the instruction. Read the situation presented below. Explain what you would say if given the chance to confront the person who committed the wrong deed. What's the situation? A classmate who was suspended for bullying. So what would we say? If I were you, I would say sorry to the person I bullied. How about you? What would you say? Here are some reminders for you so that you could remember the lesson very well. Don't forget 4 things. Number 4. There are 4 levels of conditionals, namely level 0, level 1, level 2, and level 3. Number 3. There are 3 verb forms used in main clause: present tense, future tense, and would plus verb tense. Number 2. There are 2 parts of conditionals, namely the main clause and the if clause. And number 1, there's only 1 verb format in each level. and that's constant. It will never change. So you better follow it. Before I end the video, I would like to extend my greetings to all my colleagues from the English department, particularly to the grade 9 level teachers, Mrs. Dulnuan, Mrs. Detaunan, Mrs. Lagang, and Mrs. Ponce. Have a nice day to all the grade 9 students.